Thank you. Hello, good afternoon. Is everyone caffeinated? Hope so. My story has a number of different starting points, but I thought I'd start at the point where I was on a plane headed to Nairobi. And I was taped up in many different places. And I sat there thinking, from Mexico to Nairobi is a 36-hour flight. What was I doing? I had just moved to Mexico. I was working for Marie Stopes as a country director, and I had been hit by a car the week previously. And I was not injured too badly, but I had to go to this finance meeting in Nairobi. And I thought, this is a turning point. This is one of those tipping points like Malcolm Gladwell wants you to think about, right? If I'm really in for the cause, then I'm willing to do this kind of trip to Nairobi from Mexico City. And you know, when you do global health, you do get swallowed up into it. It's addictive a little bit, not like cocaine and big parties addictive, right? But you get into it and you can't get out of it. And it's something that you want to do with your body, with your brain, with your mind, with your physical self. And I reflected on that journey. How did I get here? I started out as a nursery school teacher, and I wanted to work on children's education and development, especially kids who were in vulnerable populations. And I was working in a Head Start program. And Head Start in the United States is for kids with fewer resources. And those kids that I was working with didn't have enough food to eat at home, they were late in their developmental issues. One of the girls was beaten at home, and I would kind of put her back together every time she would come in the morning. And by the time that I was talking to the parents in this program, I realized I was too late, and I needed to give myself up to reproductive health. And so I gave up the job. I went to the dark side. I started working for marketing so that I could eat during the day and volunteering at Planned Parenthood so I could sleep at night. And I went all in. At one point, I had decided that the only reason I wanted to wake up in the morning was my work as a medical assistant in Planned Parenthood. So I quit my job in marketing and decided to become a medical assistant. I got the job literally because I spoke Spanish, and I was the only Spanish speaker in the whole place. So I'd run from upstairs to a counseling session to downstairs to the front desk. I'd run to the phone to make an appointment, then I'd run to the exam room to be with a patient. And it was a lot of running, but it was an incredible experience, and I think that was the turning point for me. And it's been 27 years now that I've been working on reproductive health. A few months later, after starting as a medical assistant, I became the clinic manager, and then John Salvi came into the clinics in Boston and killed the clinic receptionist and a few people in the waiting room. And I had to take action. Being a leader in that situation is really hard, but I couldn't let my staff and my teams be afraid of coming to work every day. So I started to create these simulation drills, and I would lie on the floor as if I had been in an accident and my teams would have to react to it. Or I would set up these fake fires in the stairwell, and they would have to react to it. Well, these series of simulations led for me to be the national director at the National Abortion Federation for Security and Quality of the country in Canada. And then I became a vice president of Planned Parenthood in San Francisco. You know the story, how you keep going on and on. But the point was, at some point I realized I needed to get out of the United States and start working on global health. And that's where I found myself on that trip from Mexico City to Nairobi, realizing if we really want to do this work and we really want to make a change, we have to make it about people. Tedros said recently at the World Health Assembly that we have to remember that healthcare is about people. And I love data, don't get me wrong, I'm the spreadsheet queen. But I think that there are 4 things that are really important in doing this work: global health, domestic health, whatever it is. And those are trust, competence, belief, and love. Trust in your relationships with each other and with the patients that you serve. Competence both clinically and culturally, so we're doing the right thing but doing it well. Belief in a vision that we really can achieve the SDGs and that women really can have access to high quality care. And finally, love. You know, you gotta love humanity. It's messy, it's not clean, And donors don't love to, it's not measurable, but it's super important in this work. And this is what this work has told me. And my personal story is I'm going to keep doing it. And I love the work and the people that I serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. And I think in these days of the pushback on reproductive rights and everything about that, you are a real beacon of hope. So thank you for all the work that you're doing, and keep pushing, please.
Thank you
so
so
I
much.
want to ask you the same questions about power, and how are you going to use your power, or maybe you've already done it, here at Women Deliver?
So I think creativity is a power that I want to bring to this field, where we can start to bring in more and interesting ideas into the way to solve problems. But basically, it's about spreading love. We really need to love each other to do this work.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Carla.